know, we don't have to worry about judgment. When we read the Bible, when we don't keep the commandments, we understand that we do have to worry about judgment when we don't keep the Bible commandments. Can somebody grab Deuteronomy 28 and what's that, 46?
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So the curses, like, we're going to go into the curses, but the curses that show us that we are these people in the Bible. It showed us that when we find out that we the ones that sold to our enemies over here in slave ships, we the ones that have to go to our enemies for everything. The clothes on your back, the water you drink. We have to go to the white man for everything, literally. We find out when we actually read the Bible that the enemy of God is the white man. His name is Esau.
That's right.
Can somebody get, what's that, 48, 28, 28, 48?
I'll get it.
The main thing is that we believe, people believe that they don't have to follow God anymore. They can just leave freely and do what they want to. I mean, you can, but at the end of it, it will be a judgment. And you'll see that you get judged on earth. Like, say you get into a car wreck or your bill is high, you can't afford to pay, you can't feed your child. Like, we find out that these curses are still on us because we never listen to what God told us to do. It be little simple things like women putting on the dress, us not putting on the dress, not eating pork, not eating shrimp, not eating lobster, not just running them up. When we go into here, he's telling us to do certain things that's really easy and it's good for us. When we stop eating pork, our blood pressure go down. You know, it'd be just those little things we find out like, okay, this is good for us, not bad for us.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and 48. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. He shall put a yoke of iron around thy neck until he hath destroyed you.
Right, so we see as a whole, our people are destroyed. You know what I mean? As a whole, like we fight against each other, we love each other. We're not really need to build with each other. Like us right now, we just want to build with y'all. You'll be surprised what resources we have. You might need that. You might have a resource that I need, but because we hate each other because of the curses, we won't even build with each other. You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, we'd rather shun a person or say, man, forget that nigga. You know what I mean? It's like, why? We the same people. We done went through the same thing. I done struggled. We fall upon these same curses. Like I said again, when I gotta go pay my electric bill, I gotta go pay it to the white man. When I pay my rent, I gotta go pay it to the white man. If I want something to drink, even if I go buy it at that store, gotta get it from the white man, clothes, shoes. So we find out who is our enemy. We were sold to the white man, he's our enemy, but when we was in Christianity, they told us that, you know, the white man wasn't our enemy. They say God loved everybody, but when we actually read the Bible, we find out that that's not true. Can you get that in Romans 9? But our main point is just to say that we really want y'all to repent and come back to God, because a lot of people don't believe that these are the times that are not with God. And he's about to return. If y'all don't see that it's about to be famine on the land. People ain't gonna be able to eat as freely as they can. It's a shortage on food that's coming. People cannot believe it, but it's true. You know what I mean? It's gonna be perilous times. If we go into what perilous times is, every time you walk out the house, you liable to get raped, shot, murdered, however you want to look at it. These things are really coming to fruition, and we see it every day. And the Bible is what told us about these things, but he told us to protect. And the way to protect yourself in that time is to keep his laws. And that's the biggest thing that people overlook, is don't nobody want to keep God's laws because they think it's not fun. I don't want to keep that. I don't want to be restricted to have to do this. I want to do what I feel is right, what I feel, and that's what's killing our people. That's really what's killing our people, because everybody want to do what they want to. Somebody grab it. Ecclesiastes 12:13.
It's Romans chapter 9, verse 13. It says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated.
So in the Bible, God has already said, and I love the group of people and I hated the group of people. When we go into that word Jacob, we find out that Jacob only means Israel. So God loved these 12 different tribes of people on earth. And guess what? He hated these 18 tribes of people on earth. And people don't know that God actually created these people, and he don't even like these people. And when people don't never read the Bible, they were like, God doesn't hate anybody, but he hates these people when we go into the Bible. And it's a reason why he hates these people. Once we line the Bible up with history, we see that we was in each one of these people's captivity. We done been in these captivities from Egypt, Assyria, Babylon. Like, we done been in these captivities, Greece, Rome, all the way to an America. we've been the same people that's been slaves to these people throughout the Bible. So it's big that we actually pick up the Bible and read it and find out that God is just telling us to come back to the commandments. Once we come out back to the commandments, then we won't be on the bottom no more. He'll reverse that. Go ahead.
All right, this is Psalms 83, verse 1.
Bring it out.
It says, keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden one. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Now it's they go to list. It says they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines. So it goes to name all these nations right here that have come together with one consent to cut off this nation, to cut off these people from being a nation. Like we've been cut off from our inheritance. Like this store right here. Any store, like a hood store, you got East Indians in these stores. You go to hotels that got East Indians in it. You got Africans can set up these at these flea markets. You got the Chinese people, they can come set up nail shops and hair stores. But the common thing is they all set up in the hood. They can come from overseas and set up shop in your hood because they hear from you to eat off of your curses.
Keep you oppressed.
Here go another one. Just all right, for an example.
You ever heard of NATO?
The Moabites.
NATO is that people who he's talking about. Them different nations coming together. They sit at a table and speak on how can we keep you in oppression. How can we murder you and get away with it? Wow. How can we feed you shit and you think that it's good regular food? Right.
All right, there go an example. All right, this is Isaiah 3 and 16. It says, moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion, it's talking about the daughters of Israel, the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go and making a tinkling with their feet. That sounds like the women walking up and down here, like the changeable suits of apparel. They walk with stretched forth necks, I mean they proud, like walking and mincing, they switching, walking up and down the street. They're proud. It says, therefore the Lord will smite with the scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts. So he said he's going to uncover their secret part. They're doing it themselves. They own the stripper pole. You can see them out here. They got half dressed or whatever. But
to
then
show their real intent.
Well, it says
ain't got no hair. They bald headed.
It says, therefore, it says, it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well-set hair, baldness. So that's a curse that the Chinese people come and capitalize on. That's just one curse. They put their children through school off of our women going to buy hair. They go in there, they even, beat our women and they still go in there.
Talk crazy to you.
I mean, we see that multiple times here. But that's just one curse that they capitalize off of.
I'm about to say, if you remember in California, the little girl, she was 13 and she went into the chink store to get some hair. They claimed she was stealing. The Chinese woman blew her head off. The Chinese woman didn't do no time for that. But it's a continuous thing with us. Is that, but we don't consider as a whole like how we need to come back together. You know what I mean? And the way we come back together is God, because we done tried everything else. We done did Black Wall Street, black on black money. We done already tried all that. We have. But what we haven't tried is the truth of God. We tried Christianity, we tried Islam. We never went to the Bible and actually dealt with the Bible and did what the Bible told us to do. We just go off of word of mouth, what somebody told us instead of reading it ourselves. But once we actually went into it, man, somebody get that Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. This is, because I don't want to give y'all too much, but this is the key. Once we get this one down, then man, we got a better chance of getting up out of this world, man. We need this kingdom to end. We definitely need this kingdom to end. And the cold thing about it is a lot of our people are hand joining hand with the wicked one. And in that day and time, people don't even realize that it's a missile that's going to hit in America. And if you're not walking with the Most High God, you will be burnt with that missile. He's only gonna save those who's fearing God and keeping His commandments. People can take that how they want to. They ain't even gotta believe. You know, nobody has to believe. But you know, this is the reason why we out here to just show our people like this book has prophecy. It said it was gonna happen, and then we seen it happen. So you can't find that in any other book. So we just out here to try to help our people see that, man, we really have to come back to God. We really have to repent from breaking God's laws and start keeping God's laws. But it's still on, you what you want to do. Get that one? So we don't give it too much.
Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13.
Bring it up.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of men.
Right. So the purpose while we on earth, that grace period is just for us to get it right. And the way we get it right is just to come back to God and learn what He wants us to do while we on earth. And that's in every situation, because in every situation, you can keep the commandment of God or you cannot keep the commandment of God. And if you don't keep it, you will be judged for it, whether you believe it or not. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing, that our people feel like because we're not getting judged right then and there, then we ain't got to worry about no judgment. But you still, since you break God's laws, even though you ain't getting judged right then and there, you still have to be judged. And that's the scary part about it, because our people don't believe that nowadays, because we're so far from God. You know, us as a whole, we used to be with God. Now we're so far from God, to the point of He said only 1/3 of my people will be saved. So, you know, we're just trying to wake up those who will fear God and come back to Him. You know, if you're not going to fear God and not come back to Him, that's understandable, but that's what we out here for. It's just to show our people that the Israelites on this planet, my bad, Israelites, and that, you know, to fear God and learn what He's asking of us to do.
That's right.
And He's asking us to come back together. And that's the biggest key. So we'll start having an evil eye towards one of each other. When we see each other in the streets, instead of me looking at you like, oh, I ain't dealing with, you should be like, oh, that's my brother. Oh, that's my sister. You need anything? You okay? Ain't nobody bothering you, but we don't do that no more. Nowadays, we'll see the police kicking your tail and walk right. Matter of fact, you will pull out the phone, man, look what's going on. It's like they ain't gonna help them. We trying to get away from that. We trying to come up out of the slums.
Let me get that curse too. All right, this is Deuteronomy 28, verse 54.
Bring it out.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead. Like, we the only people, the blacks, and Hispanics are the only people group who's primarily the ones whose father's not in the home, and then that's through generational curses from unstable household. That's why you got these young people out here killing each other. They eye is evil toward their brother. This is a curse. We all know, like, black on black crime is a thing, but it's here in the Bible why that is. It's because we fell from the law, statutes, and commandments. And the only way we're gonna get out of this estate is if we come back to it. That's why we're here, because we fell away.
Right.
And we calling our people back.
So we can get out of this position. So we'll stop killing each other. You don't hear no white on white crime, no Chinese on Chinese crime. It's only black on black. And it's a reason, because we won't listen to what God is telling us to do. Not what He's asking us to do. He's telling us, you gotta keep these laws. If not, I'm gonna punish you. And that's what we see. We're getting punished. People like living in the ghettos, or like being broke, or like being mistreated. Like, I guess people like that, because we're given a solution. Hey, can somebody get that 1 Kings 8 and 47 or a 2 Chronicles 7 and 14? We just gonna read it. We ain't gonna hold them too long. Whenever they choose to walk away, we still gonna read it and bring it out. You know, y'all kind of, you don't give y'all too much, but we gonna read it until y'all, you know.
1 Kings.
Yeah, 8 and 47.
I got 2 Chronicles 7.
So one y'all get first, man.
This is the second.
Which one you want first?
Both of them going into the same thing, so whichever one y'all
1
bring.
Kings chapter 8 and verse 47.
Read it out loud.
Yet, if they shall but think them... We got GTA San Andreas. Yet, if...
And this is the solution, right? So like I said, the reason why I'm gonna bring this out is because when you talk to people, they be like, man, all we need to do is do black on black money, man. We just need to sell to each other, buy from each other, and that's it. That's the solution. But we already had Black Wall Street. We already did that. And why did it fall? Because we didn't fear God. We didn't keep His commandments. Bring that out, King. So this is the solution. It's simple, too. This is the solution. He's telling us how to get out of the positions that we in. Watch this.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 8 and verse 47.
Bring it out.
Yet, if they shall but think themselves in the land whither they were carried captive.
So they would think themselves, if you shall remember that you are the chosen people of God in the land where you was took to be slaves, if you remember, go ahead.
You
and repent and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captives, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely.
Right. If you turn from breaking God's laws, turn back to to keeping God's laws, and then cry out to him, call out to him, and really, this is what's gonna happen. Finish.
We have committed wickedness, and so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee toward their land, which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name. Verse 49.
So it's saying, once we confess, and then we give our all, our heart is going into our mind. Once we really lock into these commandments, really open up this book and realize that the Most High is calling out to you, talking to you, and you turn to the land. The land of Jerusalem is to the east. Once we pray to the east and we fast and we call out to him, we cry out to him, and then we turn from breaking God's laws to keeping God's laws, then that's what this is explaining. Finish.
Then hear thou their prayer.
Then he'll hear us.
Their supplication in heaven, thy dwelling place, and maintain their cause.
Continue.
And forgive thy people that have sinned against thee.
He'll forgive us.
And all their transgressions, wherein they have transgressed against thee. And give them compassion before them who carried them captive, that they may have compassion on them. For they be thy people, and thine inheritance, which thou brought forth out of Egypt, from the midst of the furnace of iron, that thine eyes may be open unto the supplication of thy servant, and unto the supplication of thy people Israel.
Okay, stop right there. So again, all this is dealing with us. It's always us. This Bible is on our inheritance. It's telling us how do we receive the blessings from the Most High. How do we receive that? By when we come back to him and keep his laws. When we come back to him in this land that we did. They told us in this land that we wasn't Israel. They just told us that we was a nigga. Oh, yeah, y'all just niggas. Y'all just black. Those words came along in, 1980. We wasn't always called, what were we called before we was called African American? What were we called before we was called black? What were we called before we was called Negroes and niggas? What were we called? Because we wasn't always called those things. We wasn't even called African American. These terms just came along in the 80s.
What were we called?
We was called Judah. We was called Israelites. So that's one of the biggest lies they told us. They told us that they was the Jews and we was just niggas. But when we read the Bible, we find out that we're the Jews and they the niggas. You see what I'm saying? But we got to pick up this Bible and understand it and read it. Get that 2 Chronicles 7:14.
I got that curse right here.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
All right, this is Deuteronomy 28:37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, where the Lord shall lead thee. So those terms, African American, nigger, porch monkey, so on and so forth, those are proverbs and bywords. A proverb is a wise saying, all niggas like watermelon. All niggas like chicken.
Niggas like chicken.
That's a curse that's put upon us. That's why all nations got something derogatory that they can say toward us. Even the Hispanics and natives.
Even when if you was to go visit Africa, you have Africans, right? But you will find out that you have scattered Israelites there. Don't you know that they mistreat them Israelites? And those Israelites will be us. The black man's on that side. I keep forgetting. It'll be the black man. But we so-called supposed to be African Americans. So why we get mistreated? Because we're not. We're Israelites. Get that 2 Chronicles 7:14. I'm gonna give y'all. I'm gonna end it with this because I know we're gonna end it with this. We ain't gonna hold y'all too long.
So this is 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14.
Bring it out.
If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sin and will heal their land.
So the key part of that is, the reason why I wanted to bring that out also is because he'll heal the land that we're in. You know, he'll pretty much redeem us back to him. He's going to put us in a better state, because we know that the Bible tells us that this kingdom is Satan's. And when we find out who Satan is the white man. And we want to get out of this kingdom. We want to go back to our original kingdom. So once we follow God, and he's going to send his son back, and the only way we can be saved with his son is if we keeping the commandments and truly believe in it. And then he's going to put us back in our righteous estate. Our righteous estate is being kings and queens in Jerusalem. That's where heaven is going to be. It's not going to be in the sky. Heaven is going to be on earth in Jerusalem. But we have to come back to God to even understand that, to even get put back in that righteous state. Because right now, we the servers. We the servers. We the lowest on the totem pole, and the people who should be serving us are on the horses, looking down on us like, you know, y'all put in the work. But it should be that needs to be reversed, and it will be reversed once we come back to the laws of God. Yes, sir.
How often are y'all out here?
Huh?
How often are y'all out here?
And almost every other weekend or every 2 to 3 weekends we come out here. We've been coming out here for years now.
Yeah, because I remember it was one set that was right there that I seen they was talking about, this is something new to me, but I remember that.
That song.
So yeah.
Yeah. And the water for just, you know, listening, we just really hope that, you know, y'all take heed to anything and go read it and find it out on your own. Because once you pick it up and read it on your own, then that's what's going to push you to really like, hey, man, we got to change the way we live and we got to do this because, man, whether y'all believe it or not, heads up, y'all should be able to see. Y'all should be able to see that, man, we in the last days. If people can't see that, then that's scary because you must be comfortable in this. And this shouldn't be something that you're comfortable in. If this is going to perish. America's not going to exist anymore. The white man's not even going to exist anymore when Christ returns and he's coming back. He's not coming back with hugs. He's coming back with vengeance. He's going to come back to judge the earth for all the wickedness that's been done. So as we know that, let's stop any wickedness that we've been doing. Let's reverse that. Because when he returns, we don't want to be caught up in a wicked act. So that's all we're trying to tell our people. We don't be asking for no money. We just be asking about 5 minutes. It might turn to 10, but you know, it's the Lord. You know.
Hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Mine, Renee.
Okay.
Renee. Devontae.
Devontae.
Oh, yeah, man. You're
We
going
know
to be a
what
powerful
Devontae-
soldier, Devontae.
Hey, if you
No, they wanted to talk. Brother, you had a question?
What's the verse?
No, we saw him go to the weed shop and we was gonna ask him why.
Genesis 1:29.
You smoke weed?
Yeah.
But you ain't gotta be embarrassed about that. We all smoked weed before.
Right.
What, you gonna get it?
This is it's Genesis chapter 1 verse 26.
Bring it out.
29.
It's like it. Verse 29. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed.
So would you say weed is a herb? A herb?
Like on the earth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has seeds?
Yeah.
You know, nowadays they making it to where it don't have seeds, but they all come from seeds.
Yeah.
Right, go ahead.
Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed,
Right.
which is upon the face of all the earth,
Right?
and every tree, in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed.
So now it's talking about the fruit that comes from trees. So it talks about the herbs, then it talks about the fruit trees. Go ahead.
To you it shall be for meat.
To you it should be for what?
For meat.
For what?
For meat.
So long story short, it's supposed to be eaten. You can understand that, right? Because it's an herb. You know, what's another herb? Can you think of one? Do you smoke any other herbs?
No.
Nah, you only eat it. So
Herb is anything that's green.
yeah. So you don't want to abuse what God gave us. We're not against herbs, but we are against abusing them. Go to right. That's a tough question, huh? Go to Genesis 9:3. So that's the very first chapter of the Bible. He tells you how to consume herbs, not to be smoked.
This is Genesis chapter 9 verse 3.
Bring it out.
This is Genesis chapter 9 verse 3.
Bring it out.
Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you,
Right. So this is your food. Watch this.
even as the green herb.
The green what?
green herb.
The green what?
Green herb.
So weed is supposed to be eaten. That's plain, bro. No way around that. So no more smoking, bro. And now that you know that that's in there, watch. Most I got gonna put it on you if you keep smoking.
Smell it right now.
Hey, I got a question. Have you ever ate an edible?
Yeah.
So what is the difference?
Edible is a little bit stronger.
Okay, so but you smoke to get how many blunts you smoke a day?
Like, we
Yeah,
only
you
go-
getting lit, right? You trying to get lit, right?
Yeah, it just depends on how much weed I got.
But I'm saying though, the point is you smoke at least 1 or 2 just because you're trying to get lit. So but you're saying edibles are stronger. So what's the point of smoking at that point?
It's a trend.
Sometimes edible now, sometimes it is a trend as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's a trend.
Definitely a trend.
Plus edible is just more strong. Some people don't like edible.
Hey, so do you be following the trends?
You know, I really don't like edible highs, to be honest with you.
Huh?
I really just don't like edible highs.
But that's what the Lord told you to do with it. The Lord said eat it. Now, if you don't like